Boom. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's the Kev Baker Show. Redux. Uncut, uncensored, totally different. Unchained, untamed. Yes, indeed, we are live. Myself and Scotty Lopez are here to guide you through the weirdness, cajole you through the crazy, and have a damned good laugh along the way. We'll be with you in just a moment, so if you do care, please hit share. And whether you like me or dislike me, you've got both options. Thumb up, thumb down, I don't care. Just a tip, whatever you please. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Come on, man. Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Are you serious?
How dare you?
Genetically modified.
Genetic engineering.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, time travelers, lurkers, aliens, Nordics, Zeta Reptilians, you name it. We're here, Scotty boy, and we're live. And look, my chat's trying to take over my screen. It's just, what's that all about? How you doing, man? How you doing?
The chat are animals, dude. They're wild, man. They come flooding in and just overwhelm everybody. It's like a human wave attack, right?
That's what it's like, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
How you doing, man? How you doing in our change of scenery today, Scotty Lopez? If the mountain won't come to Mohammed, well, Baker builds his own mountain. Yes, indeed. We're here. We're on YouTube today, folks. So I'm glad that you have found us here. It was touch and go whether I was going to take a day off today or not, but Scotty popped onto Skype and I thought, well, it would be rude not to. And I've got loads of tabs opened up for us to get a laugh at, get a look at. But before we go anywhere, what's been happening in the land of Scotty? Webcam fixed? What happened there?
Yes, me being the extremely frugal person that I am, I do not like to spend money at all. And I was sitting there pondering, well, do I buy a new webcam or do I try to repair the one that went out? And so I got my webcam working again because I don't like spending money if I don't have to. So we're back in business. Pulled it apart, jiggled some wires around, looked at the little tiny motherboard or whatever.
Did you have a stern word with it, Scott? Did you have a stern word?
There may have been some words exchanged, and
I find that works.
Put it back together, plugged it back in, and she kicked on, and I was like, hey, there we go. I don't have to.
Now, I've noticed something in this conversation we're having. You identify, or your webcam identifies, I take it, as a female. But you're calling her she.
Did I? Did I?
She kicked in and she was away, and away she went. Yeah, see, you've anthropomorphized your webcam.
I think I call almost everything like she kicked on, or she did this, she did that. So yeah. But yeah, back in business. Maybe that.
Wait till the Oaklins get a hold of you, boy. I'm telling you.
God, that sounds so much like a horror movie or something. I was dragged under by the wokelings. The
undead wokelings. That's the name of probably the name of a reality show right now, probably somewhere. Yeah. So listen, dude, I've got some stories pulled up. We'll get into them. We'll have a laugh along the way. We'll interact with this brilliant chat room we've got over there. I see Jimmy Jean, she's kicking about in there. I noticed you'd been messaging me, Jimmy, but I was like trying to juggle about 20 bajillion things at once, which Scotty would kind of attest to, and he was giggling at. But it's good to see.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. A lot going on. I see Ben in there. I see Jules, Deborah, Jackie. Jackie is very special because her name is in green, and that means she's a member around here. Yes, that's right. We've got memberships. If you would like one, just click the big join button down below. It helps out more than you know. So a big shout out and a big thank you to all the members. A thank you to everyone that's here.
If you can't be a member, you can hit like, subscribe. Yep. That helps as well, and just tuning in helps. So
yep. And Jason says Kev's getting the payload of woo ready. There's a bit of woo in here. You won't be disappointed, Jason. I'm telling you, man. We've got Saint Marionette, ZX, Connie, Deborah. I think I had that one. Who's first in the chat? Let's see. Jason. No, I think it might have been ZX because I've seen him sharing it early. We've got Anna. Good to see you, Anna Dunham. Jocelyn, our friend from Alaska. Pollination from Canada, of course. So, Scotty, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it now. First thing I want to mention to you today is, do you remember maybe a few weeks ago, might be months now, that we were talking about how the Earth had glitched? It sped up, and they were looking at how the speed of the rotation was speeding up, right? Well, suspicious observers, he's obviously been covering that ever since then. And over the past couple of days, they've had to readjust what is going to be the fastest or the shortest day. And it's going to be October the 12th, and it's going to be 2.59 milliseconds different than normal now. So suspicious observers looks at this and he says this is quite an indicator of something going on with the planet. But I was going to get your thoughts on it, dude, because that's a weird one, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we were talking about, this trend of the Earth kind of like speeding up its rotation, and I mean, what effect does that really have?
Well, hold on, big man. I will bring up the bit that we need to see.
Okay.
And then you can hear it. Everyone can hear it at home. And that way, we'll have a better idea what it is I'm throwing out there. So this is suspicious observers. Fair use. We're only using a small portion of this here. Let's go.
Folks, it's needed that we come back to check the Earth's rotation glitches again. Yesterday we went over the preposterous fastest day forecast for October 11th, how it jumped not only months back but to a much faster degree. Well, let's now push that back one more day and set it a little bit faster. The days are shortening. The thermal effects at the low velocity zone build with every acceleration. The crust and mantle are only locked by a delicate thermoelectric equilibrium, and every speed up heats that layer. Like a tennis ball on a string, or a waiter carrying a plate on his hand. Spin it too quickly. The tennis ball breaks off the string. The plate crashes to the floor. The thermoelectric equilibrium breaks down at the low velocity zone. We greatly appreciate your support. Got a bunch of...
Okay, so like I say, this is like the second video. 2 days on the trot where he's been having to deal with this speeding up of the rotation of the planet. Weird one. It certainly adds into all of the weirdness going on right now.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you start to speed something up like that, and because we know that the continental plates and everything, they're essentially floating on a layer of magma, right? It's not like the Earth is just this solid thing. You have a molten, mantle, and then you have the plates that are, floating around on top. And so if you accelerate the rotation, it's going to cause those plates to jostle around and move. And I mean, I would say that, look out for more earthquakes and volcanic activity, because if the rotation is speeding up, then the continental plates are going to have to eventually catch up with it, right? You're dealing with it's going to have to catch up, because they're not going to just immediately move with the rotation of the Earth, because like I said, they're floating on that mantle. But yeah, I mean, this to me would suggest that we're going to see a lot more craziness when it comes to earthquakes and volcanoes and just, earth changes and stuff. And then, I mean, what is that? I wonder what's causing the speed, the Earth's rotation to speed up. I mean, is it because the magnetic field is weakening? Does the magnetic field play a role in how fast the Earth spins? And since now it's starting to drift, and we could be talking about these pole flips, or what were they like? There was a name for it, for these like failed pole flips, where they kind of want to flip and they start drifting a bunch, but then they end up
I can't think of the technical name for it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Polar migration, is that it?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, but either way, I mean, when you're in one of these phases, right, where the poles are acting weird and drifting and doing stuff, I mean, the magnetic field weakens, and who knows? I don't know what kind of effect, if any, if that has on the rotation of the planet. But I would suspect that, man, you'd have to kind of put the dots together. We're seeing the poles drift, we're seeing the Earth speed up in rotation, so maybe they're connected somehow.
You got to take into account as well. I've seen them using the diagrams with the big kind of plumes, the big kind of where the mass is in amongst all that kind of viscous kind of material, and that plays a part in the kind of the spin as well, because it's extra mass on certain sides of it. I'd need to find the actual diagram.
Yeah, because you're talking about kind of if you have more weight on one side, it's kind of off center, and it's going to cause things to like wobble or speed up, or slow down, or whatever. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. This speed up in rotation, and who knows what kind of effects it's going to have. I mean, like I said, earthquakes, volcanoes, earth changes, but even when it comes to like time, right? I mean, it's interesting.
What does that do to GPS?
Yeah, I mean, what does it do to a lot of things?
That's what I was thinking about today when I was out for a little walk. I'd watched Suspicious Observers, and I'm thinking, well, there's no way that we can even perceive the planet spinning as it is, so we're not going to really detect any slight increase ourselves physically. So I thought, well, what other indicators might there be? And I thought maybe GPS, because that's going to knock something out, right? You would think.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, or anything that, what about objects that are supposed to be, like you said, geosynchronous, what is that, geosynchronistic orbit, right? They're supposed to be moving along with the rotation of the planet, and they were put up there on that trajectory of the rotation of the planet at the time. But now we're talking about what, like a 2 millisecond speed up?
Yeah,
and so
over 2 milliseconds now.
Yeah, so over time, that's going to accumulate. That 2 milliseconds, over 2 years, if it stays on that, it's going to be 4 milliseconds, and so on and so on and so on. And so it's going to start putting things out of phase, out of the synchronistic orbit that some of these satellites and stuff are in. So either they're going to have to adjust the satellites and like make them move a little bit quicker, kind of nudge them into the proper orbit, or I don't know. It's very interesting. But even I was like wondering, I mean, could this explain some of the reason why people are feeling like time is speeding up, right? Like, and it just feels like, I'm still, I constantly always think that I'm a day behind a lot. Like I think it's like a Tuesday when it's really a Wednesday, or
because
something.
You're like me and your sleep pattern's gone. We lose days here, there, and everywhere, Lopez. We've got to throw that into account, right?
Yes. That we do have to throw that little thing in there. Me and Kev's sleep patterns are not anywhere near
to anything.
The average. Yeah, it's not anywhere what the average population deals with. So there is that. But on top of that, though, I mean, how many people have you talked to that are like, man, it seems like time is just going really, really fast, And to me, it's people of all ages. It's not just people who are older, because, there's the whole thing of, the older you get, time seems to go by faster and whatnot. But I mean, I'm hearing this from younger people as well. So there's definitely something going on. And I mean, does it have to do with the speed up of the Earth's rotation? I don't know. But I think there's a lot of weirdness just going on, not just with the rotation of the Earth. I think just in general with our kind of area of space, if you will. you mentioned Ben Davidson and Suspicious Observers, right? This wave or whatever
Oh, I
that this
dropped a
galactic.
link. Yeah, I dropped a link into the chat room. That's the catastrophe cycle. 12,000 years and a 6,000 year kind of harmonic as well, where you get these kind of the polar wandering sessions, if we can call them that, Scott. That's what we'll call them in our pseudo-scientific way, right? Because we're pseudo-scientists at the best of times, you see. That's what we'll call it. Polar wandering.
Yes. Speaking of cycles, you know what I've been looking into lately? It's been kind of like, whoa. I've been looking into the Kali Yuga.
Oh.
Have you ever looked into that?
Yes, indeed. That takes me way back to like pre-2012 time.
Yeah, that whole thing. The Kali Yuga stuff is very, very interesting. And you start looking into that and you kind of like start looking around at what's going on all over the place. You're like,
I've said it forever. We are going through a changing of an age, changing of a cycle. One chapter into the next chapter. You look at it however you want to view it, folks. This is like a highly significant time that we're alive right now to witness all of this. And we ain't seen nothing yet. Ain't even seen nothing yet.
If you want to pull up the Kali Yuga or some information on it, it's super, super interesting. And the reason I think it was last week or whatever when we were on Freaky Friday, and we were talking about the cycles, the catastrophe cycles and all of that stuff. Somewhere in there, there was like a 400,000 year cycle was brought up, and I think it had to do with the pole flips or something like that. And immediately in my mind, I was like, whoa. Because I think in the Kali Yuga, there's some kind of a 400,000 year cycle or something as well. And that I didn't have the chance to really bring it up last Friday.
John Nelson has nailed it. Scotty Lopez and the Temple of Doom. I love it, man. Scott's gone full black pill. That's what see, we've got the ominous Star Wars hanger set that I've kind of made us, Scott. So we're going full dark pill today, right? Doom and gloom, will we? I can't with some of the links I've got up. I can't go doom and gloom with all the links. So, but there's your Kali Yuga, bro. There it is.
Yes.
You want me to send it over to you, and you can go through the first bit, and I'll take the next bit of it or something.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll read this first bit out. Do you know that Kali Yuga has already ended, and a new era of enhanced perception is about to begin? Sadhguru explains how Krishna foresaw a great period of spiritual growth and enhanced human intelligence 5,000 years before its advent. Ooh, there you go. Scott, I also look at this time that we're living in right now, right? And I heard somebody calling it this yesterday, and I can't remember the guy's name. The Great Filter. And it's like an idea where civilizations get to a level of technology and they advance so far. And it's like you get to this kind of crux moment where you either win and you make it and you go on into the stars and you become some really advanced civilization with enlightenment and all the kind of stuff we're hearing about there. Or it's where a lot of civilizations just crash and fall. It's like make it or break it time. That's how I view this cycle we're in right now, honestly.
From what I've read and everything about the Kali Yuga, I'm going to also pull up some other information as well on it too. But we're supposedly right now we're in this fourth stage of the Kali Yuga, and the fourth stage is the worst stage, if you will, where things are extremely chaotic and
feels right.
Yeah. And so let me see. I'll read a little bit from this thing you sent, and then I'll also pull up some other stuff. So it says cycles in the sky and in the human body. Sadhguru in the yogic astronomy, we divide the orbit of the Earth around the Sun into 27 segments called nakshastras. Each nakshastra is further divided into 4 equal sectors called padas, or steps. Multiply 4 by 27 and it equals 108. These 108 units mark the 108 steps that the Earth takes through space. Each nakshastra corresponds to 1/2 of the lunar orbit around the Earth. The cycles within the human body respond and correspond to that. And then it says, in a woman's body, there are very obvious cycles of 27.55 days. She is perfectly healthy. In a man's body, the cycles are less obvious and pronounced. They happen in a different way and are of a larger span of time. In any case, these cycles are happening all the time in the solar system and the larger universe. The microcosm, shout out to Jimmy, and the macrocosm, both are playing the same game. But who should play whose game? If you think the macrocosm is going to play your game, you will waste your life. If you play the macrocosm's game, your life will be beyond your expectations. It says the cycle of the 4 yugas, the precession caused by gradual rotation of the Earth's axis. So
what happens when you start messing around with the way that thing's spinning, you know?
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's talking about how everything is in phase, everything is in these cycles, you know. If you start slipping out of phase, you know, by 2 milliseconds a year, what starts happening there, Mr.
People
Baker?
lose their minds. Look, I can demonstrate this. This is real science. We can demonstrate it, dude.
Yeah, so it says the precession caused by gradual rotation of the Earth's axis of the equinoxes is the period of time that it takes the Earth's axis to pass through one complete cycle of the zodiac. It takes the planet 72 years, very interesting number indeed, right? To pass through 1 degree of the zodiac and 25,920 years to complete 1 full circle of 360 degrees.
You know that all the numerologists out there right now are pleasantly aroused. Pleasantly aroused so far. Numbers. Yeah, the numbers are stacking up here, folks.
Hey, you know I love the numbers as well.
72, though. 72 demons in the Goetia. Yes. Young people, if you go to paradise, if you conform to that way of thinking, Allah Akbar. Yeah. Interesting number.
Yep. So it says 1/2 of the journey takes 12,960 years and covers the 4 yugas. Satya Yuga lasts 5,184 years. Shrestha Yuga lasts 3,888 years. Dwapara Yuga lasts 2,592 years. And Kali Yuga lasts 1,296 years. These 4 yugas taken together come to a total of 12,960 years.
Since
Mr.
we're
Baker?
pseudoscientists, that really ties in with a 12,000-year cycle, right? I mean, that's not kicking the bum off it. I think we're on something here.
I think so. This is why I've been
Ben
looking
Davidson,
into.
You need to get into your yugas, man.
Exactly. Get on those yugas, Ben. When did the Kali Yuga start? The story of Mahabharata. Oh, the Mahabharata. Yeah, it's in our good old text with the flying battles and see.
Yeah. L.A. Marzulli calls the Bible the guidebook to the supernatural. I call the Mahabharat the guidebook to the woo. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's the woo.
It is the woo. So it says the story of Mahabharat needs to be seen in a certain context. In 3140 BC, the
I am the walrus. The walrus wars ended.
Yes, the that war ended. And
call it the walrus war, man. It just makes really great imagery in the mind when you call it that. Walruses flying about in Vermanas.
And I'm assuming this war that they're talking about here, this Kurukshetra. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Kurukshetra. Okay, yeah. I'm assuming that's the war.
Gandhi or something. Damn, dude, you nailed that one.
I'm starting to feel the yogi flow through me, man. It's,
Major General Bakshi would be proud of you, sir.
He would. I'm doing it for Bakshi, man. I'm assuming that's the war that was depicted in the Mahabharata with all of the flying battles in the sky that everybody, energy weapons, and everyone's like, whoa. So that war ended, and in 3102 BC, Krishna left his body. 3 to 4 months after the war, the Kali Yuga began. As of 2012 AD, Krishna's era ended 5,114 years ago. If you subtract 2,592, which is the cumulative number of years of the 2 Kali Yugas that are at the bottom of the eclipse, which describes the axial precession, you arrive at 2,522 years. That means we have already completed 2,522 years of Dwapara Yuga, and since its total duration is 2,592 years, we still have 70 years until its completion. In the year 2082, we will complete
won't be here, but then
Yuga and move into Treta Yuga. The world will go through another upheaval, not necessarily in terms of war, but probably in terms of population explosion and natural calamities before moving on to this new era of well-being and upward movement of human consciousness. That's interesting because some of the information I have says that we're already in the Kali Yuga. So I think there's
like an inner war.
Yeah,
war of the cycles, man.
So let me see. I'm gonna look through this. Yes, it's Wikipedia, but all right. Okay, we're gonna read the characteristics of the Kali Yuga. I'll drop this little thing here. I kind of like we got into this because it's interesting. So it says Hindus believe that human civilization degenerates spiritually during the Kali Yuga.
I've got evidence for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hinduism often symbolically represents morality or dharma as an Indian bull. In Satya Yuga, the first stage of development, the bull has 4 legs, which is reduced by 1 in each age that follows. By the age of Kali, morality is reduced to only a quarter of that of the golden age, so that the bull of Dharma only has 1 leg. The demon Kali, not to be confused with the goddess Kali, is the reigning lord of Kali Yuga, and his nemesis is Kalki, the 10th and final avatar of Vishnu. It says the war that I was able to pronounced a second ago, but now I've completely forgotten.
Walrus War. The Walrus War.
The Walrus War. And the decimation of, was it Karuvas, thus happened at the Yogi Sandhi, the point of transition from one yuga to another. The scriptures mention Narada as having momentarily intercepted the demon Kali on his way to Earth. Does that not sound kind of like some alien heading to Earth and then like an opposing faction intercepting him, on the way or something like that? I mean, it puts that image in my head.
Some weird woo, dude. Some weird woo.
Yeah. So it says, as having momentarily intercepted the demon Kali on his way to Earth when, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, what was about the Durayo Hana was about to be born in order to make him the embodiment of Ashadavargas and Adharma in preparation of the era of decay in values and the consequent havoc. So these are sort of the things that happened during Kali Yuga. These are the prophesized events, if you will, Kev. This identifies some of the attributes of Kali Yuga in relation to its rulers. It lists rulers will become unreasonable. They will levy taxes unfairly.
Okay, so listen, let's break that one down. Have they ever been reasonable? No. Check. Taxes? Check. Okay. We're good. We're good. 1 for 1.
Rulers will no longer see it as their duty to promote spirituality or to protect subjects. They will become a danger to the world. Check. At the end of Kali Yuga, when there exists no topics on the subject of God, even at the residences of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the 3 higher varnas, and when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even by word, at the time the Lord will appear as the supreme chastiser.
Okay, that was a bit loud. That was meant to be my check. Listen, let's break that down. Whether you're Christian or whatever belief system you have, I think we can all see the rampant promotion of anything that's non-spiritual, anything that leads you away from anything to do with that faith, that path. And part of this new world we're moving into, I believe, my speculation is it's going to be some kind of wackadoodle one world religion. Whether it's God, whether it's an AI, whether it's an alien. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm going old school. But that's been one of the cornerstones of a new world order. Would be a one world religion, So totally we're there. We're well there. We've always been there, I suppose, right?
And not only that, it was talking about how even these so-called places of worship aren't even practicing true worship, right? I mean, how many of these mega churches and whatnot that are out there not even really preaching the word of God? They're just out there collecting cash, right? And grifting, then you got your Begleys and stuff out there, right? And these false prophets. And
are you serious?
Yeah. So you have this, it's rampant, right? So I'm going to have to give that one a big check mark. So it says, with regard to human relationships, this is what happens in the Kali Yuga phase, in this cycle. Avarice and wrath will be common. Humans will openly display animosity towards each other, and ignorance of dharma will occur. And for those of you who don't know, dharma is basically morality. So I'm just going to replace that word with morality. Religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, physical strength, and memory diminish with each passing day. Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be controversial to some out there. You could even throw maybe something like Mandela in there, because we don't truly know what the full function of Mandelas are, how they come about, what it is. So, but it is something it is something to do with memories, right?
Mm,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
How's
I
your
think
memory? I mean, you don't do as many shows as me, but how do you find your retention of things? I don't do too badly, I must admit.
I think my memory is pretty good. I
Yeah.
have a pretty good memory. I have a pretty good retention for stuff. So
I find people that listen to alt media or do researching, and we tend to have analytical and almost at times photographic memories. Not that we can remember everything, but we can almost call on the key points, the names of people, the groups, things like that. So I think maybe just the act of what we do works our neural pathways that keeps it kind of stimulated. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
use it or lose it, as they say.
True.
And my problem is I've got good memory retention, but I sometimes forget like a word that describes something, and I have a brain fart and I can't think of the word. I constantly do that all the time. So, but
I can agree with that one. I
So
can jump on that one with you.
Let's continue on our little bullet points here of the Kali Yuga. People will have thoughts of doing really bad things to other people.
Yep.
With no justification, and we'll see nothing wrong in that. Lust will be viewed as socially acceptable, and
Oh yeah.
That will be seen as a central requirement of life. Sin will increase exponentially, while virtue will fade and cease to flourish. People will become addicted to intoxicating drinks and drugs.
PPP.
Hey, I consider that a drug, but hey, whatever.
I was just encouraging people out there. Now would be a good time.
Gurus will no longer be respected, and their students will attempt to injure them. Their teachings will be insulted, and followers of Kama will wrest control of the mind from all human beings. Interesting. All of the human beings will declare themselves as God or boon given by gods and make it as a business instead of teachings. Oh, monetizing grifting? Is that basically what they were describing? Wait, look at these guys, look at these Hindus back in the day calling out the grifters, dude. Shout out.
I tell you what, this is spookily accurate when you start to really listen to it,
Do you think I was looking into it? I was reading through these bullet points. I was like, okay. People will no longer get married and just live with each other for their lust and desire. Chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Weather and environment will degrade with time, and frequent and unpredictable rainfalls will happen. Earthquakes will be common. Maximum age of humans will be 20 years by the end of the Kali Yuga. Many fake ideologies will spread.
Letters of the alphabet will become powerful and brainwash people.
The powerful people will dominate the poor people.
Well,
many diseases will spread.
Who knew, right? Who knew?
Oh, hey!
The Hindus.
At the end of the Kali Yuga, Vishnu will take birth on Earth as Kalki to wipe out the sinners. Oh, it sounds almost like something that happens in another text. that was written, right?
Isn't that miraculous how these stories line up? Right?
Yes, these stories seem to line up quite nicely. Somebody coming back to cleanse the earth of the sinners, and it is mentioned that Vishnu's Kalki avatar will come to Earth in a white horse which has wings. Here, the destruction caused by the white horse is used as a metaphor for the destruction of darkness in the minds of human beings.
Behold the pale horse.
Oh, I see.
Now that's 10,000 year golden age, but this is the kind of thing that I've heard a lot of. Well, I say a lot of. I've never even listened to a lot of, but this is the kind of. Is this like new agey type? We're moving into love and light, and we're all going to be fine.
But it's interesting because isn't the golden age also referenced in the Bible as well, right? I mean, they all seem to have.
I'm no expert on that book. Yeah. I must admit.
I mean, there's supposed to be some kind of like huge city of. I don't know. I'm no expert on the Bible either, but I think there's some kind of a golden age or something talked about in the Bible, or we might have to ask Joda if we manage to hook up with him, because he knows that's his bag right there. But hey, let's get into this golden age and see what we got going on here. And it says the Brahma Vyavarta Purana mentions a 10,000 year period starting from the traditional dating of the Kali Yuga epoch, during which Bhakti yogis will be present. Krishna foretold that Kali Yuga would be full of extreme hardships for people with ideals and values. Yeah, think about it. Who are the ones that are taking the brunt of everything and usually having to deal with the most crap? The people that are out there speaking the truth and calling things for what they are. They're the ones that are having to deal with all this crap.
Dude, I almost fell off the chair because I thought that was Bakshi yogis. I thought Bakshi had 1,000 yogis, man.
I'm like, damn, Bakshi's got a strong lineage there, man. No wonder he's such a badass.
Ninja yogis.
So it says the Brahma Vyavarta Purana has words spoken by Krishna to Mother Ganga before the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga began approximately 5,000 years ago. That golden age is being described below by Krishna, predicted in Brahma Vivarta Purana 4129. The fourth part of the the fourth part is called Karshna Jana Kanda.
KJK.
Yeah,
that's what it's called, dude.
Because it describes how Krishna returns to his abode. The specific dialogue is between Krishna and Mother Ganga. Oh wow! So it says, for 10,000 years of Kali, such devotees of mine will be present on earth. After the departure of my devotees, there will be only one Varna. And then it says, Lord Hari will stay on this earth for the first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga. Till then, gods will be worshipped, and the Puranas and scriptures will also be present. Huh.
Very cool.
Oh, the Sikhs even believe in something like it too. In Sikhism, now the dark age of Kali Yuga has come. Plant the Nam in the name of the one Lord. It is not the season to plant other seeds. Do not wander lost in doubt and delusion. So, yeah, I mean, is there anything in that bullet point list describing the Kali Yuga that you can...
This is where you can take it really into the weird and the wacky and the woo, though, because it goes on to talk about how it was used in theosophy and anthroposophy. Yeah. And in the writings of, you ready? Helena Blavatsky. Yes, indeed.
Oh.
And of course, she went on to be quite an instrumental figure in history. So yes, very good, Scotty. And you're talking about cycles, yugas. We're talking about big planetary changes. We were talking about solar system type changes as well. And we're going to come back to another big space story here, Scott. And we've got an update because this big, huge, massive comet, bigger than anything we've ever seen before, it says mega comet that is 1,000 times larger than a normal comet has first signs of activity with gas and dust spreading all over its massive core. Now, as much as I love my comet woo and my space woo, I do fear how much clickbaitery is going to go on around this comet. I really, really do, because there's going to be like 10 years of clickbaiting around this comet, isn't there? But Scott, I'm not going to read all of this, but it says astronomers in New Zealand have spotted the first activity on the mega comet C 2014 UN 271, perhaps the most massive comet discovered in recorded history. The experts saw a sign of a coma, there you go, a zone of spreading of gas and dust, spreading out on June 22nd, marking the first time they had seen it as an active comet since it was first spotted by the Dark Energy Survey. So the image shows this comet at a distance of roughly 19 astronomical units from the Sun. 1 AU is 93 million miles, or the distance between Earth and the Sun. And given the size of the comet's nucleus, believed to be the biggest since Comet Hale-Bopp was discovered in 1995, it has a lot of mass to heat up. There you go. So I think, was it 2031 that's supposed to ride on through? I think that's what they said, wasn't it? But 600,000 years, they're still sticking with that time frame. I thought it would have come down by now, but there you go. There's our latest on the... Yeah. Like I say, this is going to be something that provides a lot of clickbait for a lot of time, right?
Yeah, by the time that thing swings through, it should be a pretty spectacular sight to see in the sky, right? I'm assuming it's going to be very, very, probably one of the most visible comet.
In 2031, scientists predict the comet will be the same distance from the Sun as Saturn is, which will be its closest approach to Earth for the first time in about 600,000 years. So 2031.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's going to provide a lot of material for a lot of people. Good and bad, I guess. Like you said, there's going to be a lot of clickbait and everything.
Oh, dude.
It's coming in. It's coming in, Kev.
Terrell 07 will be offering people places in his cave system. Maybe, listen, is it because we've lived through Elenin and all these other things, we've got, like, comet fatigue? Are we going to miss the one that's actually going to get us because we've lived through so many overhyped nothing burgers?
I mean, this is obviously going to look really cool. And I'm going to be out looking at this thing once it becomes visible, when the time comes. But honestly, I mean, I think the thing I'm more concerned about when it comes to these kind of objects would be Apophis, right? Because that's like the planet killer meteor, isn't it? Apophis?
Yeah, I'll dig up something on that. I think even that isn't as scary as it used to be, though, is it not?
They know it's going to be a close.
Yeah.
It's going to go by close, but they don't. There's always that margin of error that they don't know.
Well, this comes from this here, and nobody's going to believe it anyway because it comes from NASA. But we'll go with it. It says here, Earth is safe from asteroid Apophis for 100 plus years. That's not very encouraging. But what about 110? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You know.
So after its discovery in 2004, asteroid 99942 Apophis had been identified as one of the most hazardous asteroids that could impact Earth. But the impact assessment changed as astronomers tracked Apophis and its orbit became better determined. 2068 it passes, man. We've still got a few years yet.
If you take 99942 and flip it upside down, you get 666, and
oh man, and then you wrap it in a couple of dream catchers, shake a rabbit's foot at it, Corey Good to bless it with some blue chicken willpower. Holy shit, dude, we're on, man. We're on. Yeah.
I mean, but hey, I mean, at least they were able to go, hey, it ain't gonna hit within the next 100 years. But after
are they not doing that crazy experiment this year? Is it called DART? One where they're like going to try and blow one, this year. NASA again, people will kill me for this, but the double asteroid redirection test, DART mission. I mean, what could go wrong when they're trying to redirect asteroids in space? Right?
Oopsie.
So the double asteroid redirection test, that sounds like a really scaled up version of the double slit experiment. I know it's not, folks. I'm making it up. I'm just having a laugh. Mission is directed by NASA to the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory with support from several NASA centers, blah, blah, blah. DART is a planetary defense-driven test of technologies for preventing an impact of Earth by a hazardous asteroid. DART will be the first demonstration of the kinetic impactor technique. What, so Bruce Willis isn't going up there with it? Not impressed. To change the motion of an asteroid in space. So the DART mission is in phase C, led by APL and managed blah, blah, blah. There you go. It's going to basically, the binary near-Earth asteroid 63 or 65803 Didymos, there you go, is the target of the DART demonstration. While the Didymos primary body is approximately 780 meters across, its secondary body, or moonlet, all right, so that's nice. It's coming with a little moon. Oh, nice. Excellent. Nothing can go wrong here. It's about 160 meters in size, which is more typical of the size of asteroid that could pose the most significant threat to Earth. The Didymos binary, sounds like a gender option that you'd get in school nowadays, has been intensely observed using telescopes on Earth to precisely measure its properties before the DART arrives. Well, I'd bloody hope you would know its properties before you start firing things at it. You know.
I mean, I could go full...
Go on, Scott. Come on, Temple of Doom, man.
I could go full grift here.
Do it. Have we got a book? Can we, sell a book?
Is that the real reason why they're sending the probe to the asteroid?
Is it? What if? Yeah. What if, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What if this is all just a cover story? You know, and
one last attempt to take out the chicken coop.
Indeed.
Once those chickens penetrate the Van Allen radiation belt, we're all clocked.
Oh,
come on.
Come on, you got to hit the air horns for that one.
Is that worthy of an air horn? I like that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of retarded.
And I like that one. That's my guilty pleasure as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
so listen. We're going to move on, right? We're going to move on. Dude, we could do this for all night. We could sit here and talk for hours. I get this. We've done 2 tabs. That's it. You've seen how many tabs I've got, dude. We've done 2 tabs.
I mean, you see how we got derailed with the Kali Yuga. That wasn't even anywhere near like what we were talking about. You know, I just, my brain was like Kali Yuga for something. Talk about the Kali Yuga. Yeah, okay, I'll do the Kali Yuga. Yeah.
You have been channeling the spirit of Bakshi, my friend. I'm telling you, man, he's inspired you today.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna have the most fantastic mustache that could ever be blessed upon someone's
facial
upper lip,
furniture
right?
of the highest order. Oh, absolutely. So I'm
Or
looking
as
here.
Dr. Disrespect calls it, was it the Ethiopian caterpillar, something like that? I think is what he calls it.
The big man, he's allowed to call it that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But listen, it's
Yeah.
all right, folks. It's all right, because if things are starting to get a bit wacky, a bit leery, a bit earth-changey down here on Earth, never fear. Snowpiercer is near.
Oh, nice.
Anyone out there watch the movie? Watch the 2 seasons of the TV show? Well, Snowpiercer is real, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the creation of one of our French counterparts. I don't know why I have to do this when I speak French. I don't know what that's all about.
Look.
Is that mime hand?
That's your subconscious channeling whatever happened back in the day. You know, your ticks, your nervous ticks or whatever from back in the day when you and Donnie had a very
trying to stop snails from falling out my mouth or something. But yeah, Snowpiercer's real, folks, and you're not getting to the front of the train. That's all I'm going to say. Good idea, that show, though. The whole premise of that, Scott, the Snowpiercer, where you've got the elites at the front of the train, and they've got everything, and it's steadily worse the further back you go, right?
The further back you go, the stronger the Kali Yuga gets, my friend.
The Kali Yuga's sitting right at the back of the train waiting for you. Yeah, Bakshi and his 1,000 yogis. There you go. Here's the story. Thierry Gauguin. Smart G-Train envisions a $350 million toy to explore the world. So this comes hot on the heels of Bezos and Branson with their joyrides into space. Just a good way for a billionaire to burn off some more money that they'll never get taxed on. I'm being cynical. I did like watching Branson. That was cool. And I will be watching Jeff Bezos strapping himself to the most phallic rocket I've ever seen. And, well, hopefully he'll make it back. Yes, indeed. But here it is. Luxury trains are, of course, not a novel idea. Back in the day, when railway travel was all the rage, there were several offers for patrons with deeper pockets and the desire to get away from months on end. Today, travelling by train is either an unavoidable convenience or something one does out of nostalgia. Listen, if anyone has been on a train journey in the UK, I don't know what kind of images of nostalgia you're going to get there. It's a horrid affair. Absolutely horrid. I mean, when I was in the army, Scott, it was like the quickest way at the time for me to get up and down the road. But dude, traveling by train, I don't know, man. It's like, it's not for the faint-hearted.
Fun fact, I've never been on a train before.
No. Missing nothing, dude. Missing nothing.
Okay, and I don't plan on it given Amtrak's record here in the U.S.
Wait for Snowpiercer, dude. Wait for Snowpiercer. So it says esteemed designer Thierry Gauguin has an idea for a train. Is it really his idea? I think he might have stole this off somebody, to be honest with you. That would completely shatter today's perception of rail travel and, in the process, elevate it to a new travel experience. Regular folks won't even get to have it. But there's good news for billionaires of the world. It's entirely doable. And it can be done as early as this summer. But it could become a reality one day. Are they for real? Are they actually telling people reading this, you're not getting a seat? Just for the billionaires? Dang. Here's the G Train, a project that Gauguin unveiled in the fall of 2020. While it's only a concept, Gauguin worked with several experts in various fields to ensure its feasibility. And he tells the Rob Report that the only thing stopping it from being built is a future owner with 350 million to spare. Is that all? Dang, dude. So the G Train is a train. Well, we kind of figured that out. But also a private, consummate way to travel. Think of it as a mega yacht on rails, since it would feature a layout similar to what today's vessels use. It would be smart and technologically advanced, fast, incredibly luxurious, and would offer the complete package for a memorable trip around the world. We tend to think about rail transportation only in terms of speed, moving lots of people from point A to point B in record time, Gauguin tells the publication. But this 14-car train would belong to a single owner. It's an alternative, very leisurely way to see the world beyond the yacht and the jet. This is literally Snowpiercer.
I was just about to say, like, basically it is Snowpiercer, except there's no lower class in the back. It's just all of the elites are on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one big train and we ain't getting on it.
One big train and you don't have a ticket.
Exactly.
So,
all right, okay, all you numerologists out there, time to get aroused again. Measuring 1,300 feet, which is 396. Oh, did he go for Tesla's numbers?
All three numbers. Wow.
The G Train could share a layout with the owner's yacht, though. If you can match your shadow vessel to the mothership, you can very well match your private train to your super yacht. This is making me feel ill, even talking about this. What are these punks all about?
Billionaires comparing mega yachts and
I feel like I want to run out into the street and slap any millionaire I come across. Not that I come across many millionaires, but this one's particularly annoying me.
All I'm saying is that
get him to that bloody French.
For people who really don't like billionaires and whatnot,
there's a reason.
being on a single track, and I'm just saying, who's going to be watching the track? Because something tells me that there's going to be a little bit of jiggering and jittering that could occur to the track as this train flies by.
I think you're absolutely correct.
Genetically modified.
They genetically modified the train. It's living.
Who's to say that somebody's not going to go out there with like a sledgehammer or something? But oops,
sledgehammer. Damn.
I don't know how the train track got knocked off of next thing you know, you have a however $1 million train kind of going airborne, and oops, I don't know. I'm just seeing a lot of potential issues that could occur when you know that
people on Twitter saying it's a fake train, right? You would have the fake trainers. No trainers. Yeah.
The train doesn't exist, Kev.
Yeah. How can it go round the world when it's a disc? But anyway, if you haven't got 350 million to build that train, if you've got 8.8 million, you can buy yourself a cheeky little Da Vinci. 8.8 million, dude. For a Da Vinci. So it says here, a drawing of a bear's head by Leonardo da Vinci sold for a record 8.8 million at a London.
Hey.
Look at that thing, dude.
Hey, when I buy that, I'm going to hang that in my train car.
Well, there you go. There you go, man. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
You'll be
you gotta
walking over
decorate.
things like that. You'll be stumbling over them in the carriageways. What, only 8 million? Get rid of it.
Yeah, while they're bringing me my caviar and whatnot for lunch, I gotta tell them to be careful not to bump the Da Vinci bear off the train car wall. I mean, come on.
Measuring just 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters. The head of a boar is more than 500 years old. The sale has surpassed the previous record for a Leonardo drawing set by the Horse and Rider, which was 8.1 million in 2001. According to Christie's auction house, which held the sale, it's among just a few drawings by the Italian Renaissance master, which are still privately owned. I just brought that up because I've seen it today, and we've covered Da Vinci on the show before. But 8.8 million? Dang, dude. Dang. Crazy, isn't it?
That is
I
wild.
hope Anne keeps all my doodles and things that are in the drawer. Maybe 10 years from now, I don't know, maybe somebody will go, that Kev Baker had a fine artistic eye on him. All my pictures of one eyes and triangles will go fucking viral.
Do you think Leonardo da Vinci could have ever imagined or comprehended that, like, his sketches would be of that value?
I think he'd have been disgusted.
He probably would have, honestly, to tell you the truth, right? Like
only because he never got the money. That's why he'd be disgusted. Somebody else got the money and got on the bloody train. Do you think somebody's selling off their art collection to get the train?
Hey, probably this guy, right? He saw the article on the train and was like, hey, I got this Leonardo da Vinci painting. I want to get on that train, Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think. There's another one here I've got pulled up somewhere. Hang on now. Talking of, like, bizarre prices. Hold on. Here we go. We've got, like, Blue Origin going up. The whole Jeff Bezos. Well,
yeah.
Check out this cat here. This dude here is Oliver Damon, 18. And he's the dude that bid 28 million to go and be the passenger with Bezos. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was 28 million. Blue Origin auctioned off the 4th seat on the launch to a top bid of 28 million. But Damon is not flying through that bid. The anonymous individual who won the auction had a scheduling conflict, so whoever paid the 28 million couldn't even make the flight. According to Blue Origin, and they will join a future flight. The money went to Blue Origin's non-profit organization, Club for the Future.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Of course it did. Which is disbursed $1 million each to 19 non-profit organizations. Of course they did. Probably all owned by Jeff Bezos. But yeah, that dude there he is, man. Would you do it? Like, if somebody paid for you, would you do it? Would you be one of the first to go up on his thing? Because it looks like a thing.
No, I wouldn't go on Blue Origins. I would go on SpaceX. I would go on Elon's because I don't know. I trust that they know what they're doing a lot more than Blue Origin.
28 million, man.
I don't know. I wouldn't do the Blue Origin thing. I just think it's too risky. Too many unknowns there. I mean, they haven't really posted anything that kind of like really proves. Like, what have they done repeatedly? You have to show a pattern of success, right? And I haven't seen like a pattern of success from Blue Origin, at least not anything that they have shown people publicly.
I've not been following them either. So I don't know. And that's not to say that they've not
SpaceX
been doing stuff, but
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? Not
Yeah.
publicly. We haven't seen anything publicly. At least SpaceX puts like everything they're doing out to the forefront. And
who's that messaging you? Is that who I think it is?
oh, I just got a message, Mr. Baker, from from a certain individual.
Sorry.
certain-
Hang on.
For the people out there in chat, we have received a communique. A communique.
That's okay, because we'll surprise them tomorrow.
Yes. We'll
It's gonna be a really freaky Friday tomorrow. Oh boy,
leave the people guessing. We'll leave the people. Oh, it's going to be a very freaky Friday if this pans out.
Probably one of the freakiest ones we've had in a long, long time.
It's going to be the freakiest one since the last time we've done a freaky with said individual. So
we're ready to run through some mad news, Scott. Some crazy random stuff that I'd pulled up for today as well. Because we're doing something completely different today. And we're going to let the network sort things out. So hopefully we'll be all good to go
been a lot of problems on the back end with the network.
Yeah.
So, man,
So I thought today we'll let it go. And then tomorrow we'll do Freaky. We'll be back on there. But we'll be simulcasting as well with Freaky. But today I'd pulled up some of the space stuff. I had no idea Scott was going to get into the cool Yuga stuff. And what I would really like to do one day, or one show soon, Scott, 1 week soon, is if we take what Ben Davidson is saying, some of the numbers, some of the kind of cycles he's talking about, and see if we can start matching them up. See if we can start tracking down the actual start points and end points of things, you know?
Yeah, I think we need to start looking at some of these cataclysmic cycles. I remember I brought up that really good article from Mysterious Universe talking about the cataclysmic cycles and whatnot last week. But no, I think we need to start looking at like the Kali Yuga stuff, like you said, and then start seeing if we can find like a correlation or whatever between a lot of these dates and events and cycles and stuff. That's kind of the trip I've been on lately.
Sounds good. I've actually been diving back into a lot more science videos. In my downtime. But listen, we've got 101 people here. 102 now. That's like the backup channel. We never get this many. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Hope you're enjoying it. We're just chilling out. We're goofing off now. And first up, we've got the Tiger King. Joe Exotic, man. Are you Team Joe or Team Carol kind of guy?
I'm Team Joe. Team Joe.
Same here.
He's one hell of a character. And
well, I found out today they were going to get Nicolas Cage to play him in like a movie. I think there's a picture of it down here. There it is there, look. Joe Exotic scripted series starring Nicolas Cage not going forward. I was devastated when I found out it wasn't happening. He'd have made a really good Tiger King, right?
Yeah. I mean, Nick Cage is already a very eccentric dude to begin with. So
he's a time traveler, man. I've seen that picture of him back in the day. He's a time traveler.
Hey, so's Keanu, right? I mean,
some of those are spooky, right?
They are pretty crazy.
Folks, we're not like me and Scott aren't sitting here like putting it all on the line, staking it all on these guys being time travelers. We like to laugh and joke, okay? Before you take it too seriously, too literal. But this here says Tiger King star Joe Exotic's 22-year prison sentence was vacated on Wednesday. But don't get too excited because he's not getting out. The appeals court that vacated the sentence upheld his conviction and said he would be resentenced. So Exotic was convicted in 2019 of plotting to get rid of his rival, Carol Baskin. So I think he's to go back to court, Scotty, to get kind of resentenced, and they'll take it from there. But when I first read it, I thought he was getting out.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing with the Tiger King series is that everybody, absolutely everybody involved in that thing, it was it was a cluster, right? There really was no good guy in that series, to be honest. Of course, I kind of leaned on the side of Joe Exotic, but that whole thing was wild. And that was when all of this, stuff that went on last year kicked off, right? And everybody was stuck at home.
Yep.
And I think that played a huge role in the absolute.
I put off watching it to begin with. I thought that looks absolutely atrocious. And then when I did watch it, thanks to Popeye, it was like compelling. One episode after the other, binged it. And I blame Popeye for that.
Yeah, no, I blame Popeye too, because he's the one that told me to go and watch it.
Yep.
And then when I saw it happen in Wynnewood, Oklahoma, I was like, oh, well, that explains a lot.
Next weird headline. Here we go.
Yeah.
Why seagulls get drunk on flying ant day. There's something you don't expect to read every day, right? So flying ant day looks to be upon us in certain parts of Devon today. That's down the south coast of England, for anyone who doesn't know. And in Exeter, the airborne insects were seen in large clusters throughout the city and the surrounding countryside. But another tale. Oh, same here, dude. Hate it. They are absolutely pesky, man.
We had a colony of carpenter ants that got into our wall one time, and then they erupted out of the windowsill inside our house when they went into their flying mode, and
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. That sucked so bad. We had to get that all handled, but yeah, I don't like them, dude.
No, same here.
Any flying insect, really.
Another telltale sign was the large flocks of seagulls circling wildly overhead. Now, scientists have suggested. Here we go. Here's another example of scientists with too much time on their hands, right? I would imagine. Scientists have suggested that the ants produce an acid that gets the birds slightly drunk. And an RSPB, and that's the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, gull expert has said gulls are mad for them and gobble them up like M&Ms, which can cause them to be even more excitable than usual. Who knew? Who knew? And more to the point, what scientist sat there one day and thought, I wonder what these ants do to seagulls.
I mean, look, if you're a scientist whose job is studying insects, right?
You're already somebody I don't want to know. A potential serial killer in these people, I think. They're no, you got to watch these people closely, Scott. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I think this is another example of we see like animals engaging in intoxicants, if you will, right? Like we know that dolphins will grab pufferfish, right? Pufferfish, and they won't eat them, but they'll kind of grab them and tick them off. That way they puff up or whatever, and then the dolphins essentially get high off the pufferfish. And from all accounts, from what they've observed, they just do it because they want to get high. That's their whole reasoning for doing it. Now, the seagulls, I mean, that's just free food, right? And it could be a side effect.
Hold that thought, Scott. Hold that thought. There we go.
Happy pre-birth recognition day, Kev. May you find giggles abundantly along with PPP.
Well,
I love you, brother.
I love you too, Nacy, but I'm actually starting to think, right, with it being 23:46 over here, so we're 14 minutes away from my birthday. But with the Earth speeding up slightly, Scotty, you know, maybe I've already completed the lap.
Maybe. See, we don't know.
Yeah, and then Naysay tomorrow, I'll put you on red alert. I think I've got a story about the moon wobbling and a cycle that the moon goes on that maybe we hadn't been taking into account.
I think I saw the same article, the moon wobble thing. I was going to bring that up. I was going to drop that in, but I didn't know if you had seen it yet or whatever.
I think Ron out there alerted me to it. I'd read something else about it as well. Me and Ron have got really, what would you call it, syncretitis, where he'll drop me links and I've already been reading them, or I'll drop him links and he's already been reading them. It's like we synced up. It's weirdness, right?
Yeah,
But
we do that constantly.
In that kind of article, there's details of an 18.2 year long moon cycle that takes place. So I don't know if that's affecting, because we've always had to speak to Nacy about his problem with the moon and the phase, and it's not that we've ever said no, it's not happening. But now we're starting to find there might be an answer to some of it. Yeah, and it isn't drunk seagulls. That's all I know. So it says in 2013, Dr. Rebecca Nesbitt from the Society of Biology told the Telegraph some of the slightly odd behavior we are seeing could be as a result of these ants. It could leave the gulls slightly drunk. It's possible because we know that some ants produce formic acid, and it could be having an effect. But the seagulls didn't go into a feeding frenzy. There are usually plenty of ants to go around. So last year, the Exeter-based Met Office revealed the ants took to the skies in such huge numbers that they formed a cloud that could be seen from space. Ooh. And of course, over in America right now, you've got that whole cicada thing going on, right?
Yeah, up in the Northeast,
Yep.
the 17-year cicada cycle.
That's a crazy whole thing, isn't it? 17-year cycle.
Do y'all have cicadas in the UK?
Nah, dude.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
No.
You guys are lucky you don't get to hear those annoying little... yeah. Oh, my Lord. So, what was it? Back in 20... I can't remember when it was. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. We had, I think it was a 13-year cicada swarm in our region. It's weird because there's different, they call them broods. There's different broods in different regions of the U.S., and they're all on different cycles. You know, there's like a 13-year brood that lives in areas of Kansas into Missouri and whatnot, and then there's a 17-year brood that lives up in the Northeast, and there's another, you know, there's different broods that live in different areas, and you have your normal yearly cicadas that come out, and then you have these broods that come out every 13 or 17 years.
Anytime I hear it, you'll get this as well, but anytime I hear that, it makes me think of that mad, remember the internet puzzle, the group thing? Cicada. Was it 3301 or whatever it was? Do you remember all that, man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. My cousin was deep into that. He was trying to solve all the riddles and the puzzles and everything like that.
Well, remember when we were like hanging around with uni and there was that guy, DeFango? He was another one. He had been out and like looking for the Spear of Destiny or some bloody thing, man. But that whole cicada thing, that was weird.
Yeah. I really do think that they were trying to recruit people. Like they were trying to find out who.
That's what I thought at the start. I thought it was like some kind of super Morocco kind of secret mole thing to get into like the NSA or some alphabet agency nobody had heard of, you know?
I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? It was very interesting regardless. It was just one of those things, right?
I don't know if he's still here, but there was somebody called S90 in the chat room. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it or not, because when he tried to go on with John Brisson the last time, his other half got a bit angry. other half sometimes don't take kindly to people doing this. I get that. So we might get to do this show. We might not, but it's about alternate reality games, dude. Like alternate reality games. Not augmented reality, but alternate reality games. And I heard them doing a show, and they were talking about the movie The Game. I remember that. I remember watching it and being totally fascinated by it. But they were also talking about Fight Club. That was another one that they brought into the conversation, and another movie as well. But these alternate reality games, I think there's enough there for us. Even if we can't get S90, we'll need to dive down the rabbit hole one night and do a dig into them. Because there's been a few of them that have been around, and they do, especially the times that we're living in right now. We talk about LARPing and things like that. Now, this isn't LARPing, but it's weirdly similar in a way, if you get me. It's kind of weird. Blurs the lines between fiction and reality, really. Interactive gaming. No, it's weird, dude. It's weird. Yeah, really weird. Really, really, really weird. But like I say, I heard S90 doing a show on it, and I said to him the other day, we need to get you in to talk about that stuff because it's fascinating to me. I don't know if we can manage it. So fingers crossed we can get S90 in one night to do that. But anyway, moving on, talking of games. It isn't quite a game I've got now, but I've got a weird one. Not a game, but it's a robot. And it's a robot. A story about a robot, a queen, and a bridge. Now, really, normally that should be the start of a really good joke, only this isn't a joke. Because the Dutch queen and a robot have opened a 3D printed bridge in Amsterdam. Now, Amsterdam's cool because it's Amsterdam anyway, but there's the bridge in question. Check that out. 3D printed bridge. That's pretty cool looking. But I can't find one picture of the queen and the robot. It doesn't happen in the article. It says Dutch Queen Maxima teamed up with a small robot on Thursday to unveil a steel 3D printed pedestrian bridge over a canal in the heart of Amsterdam's red light district. Maxima pushed a green button that set the robot's arm in motion to cut a ribbon across the bridge with a pair of scissors. Good for the robot. And the distinctive flowing lines of the 12-metre, 40-foot bridge were created using 3D printing technique called wire and arc additive manufacturing that combines robotics with welding.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, dude. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was looking at, because my dad's a welder, I immediately could see what they did, like how they made it, and they essentially just took a welding rod, welding tip, and used it as a 3D printer, right? And they just fed it with the wire, and it just went back and forth and just kept adding it, just like a 3D printer adds liquid plastic or molten plastic and builds it up in layers. This was basically like a welding tip that just built metal up in layers. That's pretty cool. I mean, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed.
I see Jimmy in the chat room talking about comet fatigue. Exactly, dude. Comet fatigue's a real thing. Definitely is.
Indeed.
So we've got that one. Couldn't find the queen. Couldn't find a picture of her. Talking of queens and royals, found this story interesting. A woman finds 18 snakes under her bed after she saw a tiny piece of fuzz move. Dude, yeah. I know, Scott. I know. Oh, I'm like, wow. Can you imagine?
It depends. First of all, it's gonna. Well, I mean, I don't even. I wonder where this was at and what kind of snake it was, because that will escalate things even more.
Georgia.
Oh boy.
So a woman was scared shirtless after finding 18 snakes under her bed. That would not describe the state I would be in. A woman was scared shirtless. I reckon I could remove the R out of that and it would say scared. You get the idea, right? Right?
Yes.
Trish Welcher was headed to sleep on Sunday in her Augusta home when she noticed something very odd. I spotted what I thought was a piece of fuzz on the floor, went to reach for it, and it moved. So she said, but a second later, another piece moved, and she went to her husband to let him know that they had snakes. The family learned that they had 17 babies that had recently hatched and a mother snake as guests in their home. Oh, that's got to be a sign of like demonic possession or something, right? I'm only joking. I'm sure they're not that bad people. Her husband, Max Welcher, a trained magician, I'm only joking, uses a grabber tool to place each snake in a linen bag before taking them to a nearby creek and releasing them. Still not confident that the last of that was the last of those things. Scared shirtless, to be honest. Who even talks like that? Ever heard anyone saying that?
Are
they trying to be polite? Are they trying to be polite?
I think they're trying to be polite. Southern women down south, in Georgia and stuff. They tend to try.
Awesome, Scott. Awesome. Do you want to play Elvis? Yeah. Ooh. These two idiots look like demons. Ooh, booga booga. We're coming to get you, Elvis. Don't let us stop you, Elvis. Elvis has left the building. We're demons, Scott. My God. If that's looks, there's reaction. We're pulling the piss out of you. We're not laughing with you, dude. We're laughing at you. Elvis.
Oh my goodness.
Hashtag must try harder. I am Russian. Good for you. Where are you rushing to? Slow down, you might fall over. Anywho, what's next? I think, Scott, we're near enough at the end.
It never said what kind of...
All right, yeah, here we go. Daniel Schoenberger, a biologist from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, said, it's not uncommon for snakes to get into homes. Being small means that they can get in small cracks at times and sometimes wind up in houses and garages. Just remember that, Elvis. I'm a small guy. I can get into all your nooks and crevices and really, really annoy you. So they are also hard to detect because they don't smell and they don't make much noise. There's a myth out there that snakes smell like cucumbers. Scott Lopez, have you ever heard of this myth? I am going to bust. I've never heard snakes smell like cucumbers.
Absolutely not. This is the first time I've heard of anything ridiculous like that.
They're all shook up. They usually don't smell like anything unless you pick one up and you smell it a lot. What? You might smell a musky, really nasty smell. So you usually don't smell like anything. Or they usually don't smell like anything unless you pick one up and smell it a lot. Well, if it doesn't smell like anything, I'm not buying Solenberg as an expert in snakes. I want somebody better. Solenberg says weather stripping doors can help keep reptiles out. We want to know what kind of bloody reptile it was. So, if they do get in, killing them in Georgia usually isn't an option. Non-venomous snakes are protected, right? That's cool, but what kind of bloody snake was it? Doesn't tell you, Scott.
First of all, obviously it was non-venomous, so I guess that's all right. But if you do kill the snake in your home, how the hell is the state going to know to begin with? Like, why would you run out and be like, hey, I killed this snake in my house and make it, I don't know. But
I can assure you, Scotty Lopez, if me and you ever come across a snake, they will smell. They will smell of the brown stain that runs down the back of my leg when I when I have an accident, because I will think it's all game over, dude. Don't do snakes.
We've come across snakes many, many, many times on our property. And a couple times we've had poisonous snakes Copperheads. Oh, you don't want to deal with copperheads. Those things are nasty. And I think trying to think what poisonous snakes we got out here. We got copperheads. We got water moccasins. We got rattlesnakes. I think we have eastern diamondbacks out here in eastern Kansas. And then you get out into western Kansas, you have western diamondbacks.
You're describing animals that have the potential to vacate you from your spacesuit. These are dangerous animals.
Yes, and that's why when we saw Copperhead, the old 9mm had to get busted out because,
Because you have to faith in the chat room. I agree. I like kitties as well. Definitely. Although I was playing with the most delightful little dog out the back today. See when a dog gets that thing with the ball and it keeps coming back for more and it just won't give up. Doesn't matter how hot it gets, Scott. This dog could have ran all day and all night. But I must admit, I'm not a dog guy. But I did have fun today playing about with the dog and the ball and see the contortionist that this dog was. The shapes and angles that it would get into to catch this ball. Miraculous, dude. It should be like, it was like a performing dog. So there you go, yes. I had to equalize the snake talk. My skin's crawling, dude.
Yeah, they suck. You don't want to deal with them. But you do want to, like garden snakes, and we have these black snakes that sometimes come around and they look real scary, but they're not
racist. We've got adders over here. That's the only snake we've got, an adder. And its partner isn't the subtractor, which one person said to me at one point.
I mean, they're very good for keeping the rodent population down. So you do want them around. You just don't want the poisonous ones around. And we got farmers that live in front of us and behind us, so we're like surrounded by fields, and you get field rats and field mice that try to find a place to hunker in. And you do want the snakes to kind of hang around.
I must admit, though, right? I'll tell you a weird story. When I was in the army, ended up going out for a couple of drinks with one of the local lasses, shall we say? Mm-hmm. And I done the gentlemanly thing, Scott. Couple of dates first, I went for a night out and eventually got the invite back to the house, and that the little terror had forgot to tell me. Yeah. She forgot to tell me that she had fucking pet snakes, dude. And and mice, dude, mice. It was like, whoa. Funnily enough, it was the last time me and her ever met. Now, look, I'm not saying I judged her by her pets, but I ain't comfortable staying in a house where there's something that can make you vacate your spacesuit. And all that's protecting you, all that's between you and that snake in the bedroom, it is like a really flimsy piece of like plexiglass. I wasn't having any of it, Scott. None of it whatsoever. Made my excuses. I'm sure she went on to have a lovely life, but snakes, ladies, top tip. Kev's life hack here. If you do keep snakes, keep them for maybe way down the line, like 6th, 7th, 10th, 20th date, maybe. I don't know. Don't go snakes early.
Yeah. My cousin, he lives in New Mexico, and one of his hobbies is he likes to collect snakes and raise them. No. He's got a room. I'm gonna try and think about how many snakes he actually has. I'll have to ask him. He's got a couple boa constrictors, like I think maybe.
Do you remember we done the story? I'm sure we done it on Hangar 18, where there was the woman in the UK, or it was a dude, and they had like a pet. I think it was a python or something, some mad big thing anyway, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember whether she went to the vet or whether she had gone to see somebody and she was talking about it. But she says it's really, really crazy because I think it was the vet. She says, I think there's something wrong with it. So why do you think there's something wrong with it? Well, every night when I get into bed, it comes in beside me and it just stretches itself right out, like right beside me, like it's trying to keep warm beside me. And the vet's like that. You've got about a day or two to get rid of that snake because it's not been lying beside you. It's been measuring you. It's been trying to work out what it's going to have to do to constrict you during the night. That was Hangar 18. Do you not remember that, dude? That was like a story in the UK, man. Good few years ago. That was round about the time when we were doing the Sikh Fight Club, remember? Remember all the boys in the temple? Bakshi leading them with the swords, remember? You see? Yeah, yeah.
I may have to jog my memory on that because there was quite a few Hangar 18s where, let's just say, there was some beverages being consumed that may have fogged the memory a little bit. So,
did anyone do that show sober or straight? Nope. Nope.
No. Hey, is Elvis still in here? Because I want to ask him. What would make you think that I look like a demon? I don't understand. I have no idea why.
Imagine calling yourself Elvis anyway. Didn't he get married to a 15-year-old? Just saying, dude. Just saying. You called us a demon.
I don't know.
That's pretty good look. Pretty good look. Oh, I'm all shook up. Anyway, before we go, right? Let's like set the ground for a future show. Whether we can get S90 or not, I'm not sure. But you're gonna like this, Scott. Alternate reality game.
Nice.
Alternate reality game is an interactive, networked narrative that uses the real world as a platform and employs transmedia storytelling. That doesn't involve men in wigs in a library. Let me just make that very, very clear. To deliver a story that may be altered by players' ideas or actions. The form is defined by intense player involvement with a story that takes place in real time and evolves according to the player's responses. Subsequently, it is shaped by characters that are actively controlled by the game's designers, as opposed to being controlled by AI, as in a computer or a console video game. Players interact directly with characters in the game, solve plot-based challenges and puzzles, and collaborate as a community to analyse the story and coordinate real-life and online activities. I know, the lines between this and LARPing are very, very, very vague.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds very kind of LARPy in a way. It's like taking elements of it's almost like you're coming up with the narrative of the game on the fly. It's like improvise. You're improvising.
It gets even better, dude. It gets even better. ARGs are generally use multimedia, such as telephones, email, mail, but rely on the internet as a central binding medium. ARGs tend to be free to play, with costs absorbed either through supporting products, collectible puzzle cards fund Perplex City.
Oh, okay. I see what they're talking about. So it's you're playing the game.
Oh, Scott's been hit. Scott's been hit by some lightning, hasn't he? He has. He warned me before the show. It might have been even when we were on it. Are you there? No, see. I'll try and get Scott back, folks. I'll try and get Scott back. Try and get him back. Here we go. Here we go. There he is. There he is. We thought the lightning had got you, dude. We thought the lightning had got you.
I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened.
Well, we'll get through this quick and then we'll not stay around too much longer. It says through promotional relationships with existing products, for example, I Love Bees was a promotion for Halo 2, and The Lost Experience and Find 185 promoted the television show Lost. Pay-to-play models exist as well, and later games in the genre have shown an increasing amount of experimentation with new models and sub-genres. But I think that's something we need to get into. Unique terminology. Among the terms essential to understanding ARGs are a puppet master, Scott. A puppet master, or PM, is an individual involved in designing and or running an ARG. Puppet masters are simultaneously allies and adversaries to the player base, creating... Oh, I'll put the screen on for Scotty. There we go. Sorry, Scott. There you go, bro. Creating obstacles and providing resources for overcoming them in the course of telling the game's story. Puppet masters generally remain behind the curtain while a game is running, and the real identity of the puppet masters may or may not be known ahead of time. The curtain. The curtain, drawing from the phrase, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, is generally a metaphor for the separation between the puppet masters and the players. It sounds almost like the bakers as well, right?
So now I'm beginning to more understand what this is. So it's not like the players are pushing the direction of the game, like through improvisation. They're giving these goals, or they're given these tasks that they have to complete out in the real world in order to complete the game. So you know what this reminds me a lot of? The Randonautica app.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, because essentially the Randonautica app tells you to go to a location in real life and all of this stuff, and you're essentially playing a game. If you think about it, you're engaging in a game of go to a location and see what you can find kind of thing. So I think you can kind of wrap that into this genre.
This is cool. There's so much. I mean, I'll actually get the podcast to listen to with S90 before we leave today, and I'll put it in the chat room for people. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This can take the traditional form of absolute secrecy regarding the puppet master's identities and involvement with the production, or rely merely on the convention that puppet masters do not communicate directly with players through the game, interacting instead through the characters and the game's design. Rabbit hole, or a trailhead. A rabbit hole or trailhead marks the first media artifact, be it a website, contact, puzzle that draws in players. So Cicada was, yep.
Cicada was probably it seems like it falls directly into this.
Most ARGs employs a number of trailheads in several media to maximize the probability of people discovering the game. Typically, the rabbit hole is a website, the most easily updated coefficient option, and this is not a game. It says setting the ARG apart, or form apart from other games, is this is not a game sentiment popularized by the players themselves. It is a belief that one of the main goals of the ARG is to deny and disguise the fact that it is even a game at all.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Wonder how many people have been drug into these things, not even realize that they're playing a game.
Well, I'm just going to find that video right now for people, because it was a good show, and this channel's a good one to follow. The Antidote, I think, is the name of the channel. There we go. There.
Crystal in the chat asked if Cicada is still around, and I haven't seen anything really recently with it.
No, a lot of the people that were involved in it got caught up in the whole 17th letter thing.
Oh,
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's try and find this. S9E ERG.
Of course they would be involved in that. Makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
Yeah, too much sense. So what you got planned for the rest of the day, Scotty? While I find this just now.
I'm going to have me a wonderful hamburger when I get done here and enjoy the heavy rain that we've been getting. We kind of needed it. Of course, we don't need, I don't think, this much rain. It's kind of starting to get to a point where we're probably going to start seeing some flooding and stuff happen. But
and that the technology was a fraud and that they were liars. So it's interesting to see that the careers of these people have kind of curved back in on themselves, and they're back to where they all began. And the technology or the systems that they created, this entertainment system, has been hijacked by, you know, Disney and a bunch of big companies.
So that there is the podcast I was on about. We've read the documents. John Brisson, he was on the KBS just last week with Jimmy Jeans and Billy Ray Valentine. But it says here S90 was on Recluse's podcast, The Farm, to discuss his research on ARGs. So I highly recommend that. And then towards the end of this month, we're going to have on Big Mark from Housatonic Live. There he is there.
Into genetics as well.
And what he's going to come on and tell us about is one of the most in-depth researched histories and the story behind the creation of the computer as we know it, and how that then spirals into the corridors of science and elite groups and networks and everything that's going on in the world today. It's going to blow your mind. He's coming on the 26th of July, I believe, but he is confirmed. It's one I've confirmed, Scott. I've got a lot of plates spinning at the moment when you guests kicking around. But
I'm definitely going to tune into that because computer history and anything
have you ever watched
involved
this guy before, dude? He is like
No, I
oh,
haven't.
brother. Like, this is like some of the... You want to see somebody that can research and really connect the dots and things. I'm struggling.
Nice.
He's up there. He's really, really up there, man.
Good.
A lot of content on there.
I love any more people out there that have that talent and ability, I'm down for it. So
all the characters behind, like the technology, science, it's pretty amazing, dude.
Good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out.
I'll drop that channel over on the chat room. Listen, folks, thank you all so much for turning up in big numbers today. Scotty, I'm blown away. I thought we'd maybe usually get 50, 60 on the backup channel. We'd over 100 there for a good while. That was absolutely awesome. It was different today, but that means we can kind of take stock. We had fun here. We had a lot of good stories we covered. We went from bloody Yugas to everything, to alternate reality games, comets coming in. But tomorrow, Freaky Friday, we'll be back. And hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be going well at the network. But even if it's not, worst case scenario, we'll still be over on Kev Baker Show 1, the bigger YouTube channel. And we'll be there at midnight tomorrow. I'll try and get live earlier on during the day, early evening on this channel. We'll have a bit of a hangout. We'll chill out. Birthday tomorrow, so I'll be taking it real easy. Scott's going to be doing all the heavy lifting on the show tomorrow. I'm only joking. We've got a special guest coming on to Freaky Friday tomorrow, and it's going to be absolutely awesome, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And hey, somebody in the chat asked if the Illuminati game was legit, and yes, it was. It was an actual game.
Oh, the cards, yeah.
Yeah. I've actually seen some of the cards like legit physically.
Is it one of these ones, Scott, where it's quite hard to get a hold of the cards now? Is it one of those kind of scenarios?
Yeah. It's because it's been out of print for, they've stopped producing
and
the
because
cards.
it's so popular, I would imagine that adds to a bit of the value, right?
Yeah, but back in the day, my friend, he was big into like all kinds of card games, right? Like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all that stuff. He just liked card games, and so anyone that came out, he bought. And he had the Illuminati card game at one time, and he still had a couple of them left because he sold it or whatever, lost the cards, I don't know, but he still had a few of them. And so I actually seen him. So yeah, it was a legit thing, pretty interesting, and there's been a lot of times we went down that rabbit hole analyzing those cards, Kev, because
those cards are good woo. You can't get away from it,
Nah, yeah, it's good stuff. It provides for some good woo,
It's quite uncanny though. I mean, you know me, more recently I'm usually skeptical and debunky. But Scott, you can't get away from how like spookily accurate some of those cards look like they've been.
Yeah.
What's happening in the chat room? I can see you keeping an eye on the chat room. What's going on in there?
I just look. I just like to see what people are saying.
Malaya, you're never late. I always believe that you turn up exactly where you're meant to be at exactly the moment you're meant to be there. Now, you might think to yourself you're late, but that means you think that you're in control of the universe, when in reality, we know the universe is in control of us, all right? So you are exactly where the universe wanted you to be right now. No worries. And you can click rewind. There's plenty of laughs, plenty of stories as well today along the way. Look at that, Scott. Look at that. Even when we didn't do the scripted, well, not scripted, the more
structured
plan. That's the word.
Yeah, there we go.
Structured format would take 2 hours. And what did we take right now? 2 hours. So on that note, I think that's probably time for us to get out of here, right? Any final thoughts for our intrepid viewers?
We'll see you guys tomorrow on Freaky, and we've been having these issues with the network, the over the past week. So if that doesn't pan out, I think we'll still be on YouTube, and so yeah, everyone, we'll catch you tomorrow. We'll dig up some good woo. I was kind of feeling Kevin on some interesting possible.
Not possible. It's a rabbit hole.
It's a weird rabbit hole, and I need to have my mom send me the video.
Yeah,
it's very difficult for me to explain.
Give the audience a little taste, like a little indication of what you're on about here.
Okay, we're talking about a guy in Spain who claims he woke up and there's nobody. He's the only one. Like, he lives in Valencia, Spain, and he says he's the only one. He like, it's almost like was it like I Am Legend or something like that? I don't know. The streets are empty, buildings are empty, nobody, not even birds or anything in the sky. And he's been making these videos on TikTok of him walking around empty streets, empty airports, empty supermarkets. And when he checks like computers and stuff that are on the desk, they say 2027, I believe it is.
Right. Luna says, I seen that and it's crazy. I have got 99% of me is screaming, it's got to be this, it's got to be that, it's got to be something. And I'm thinking After Effects, I'm thinking, look, but there's still that 0.1 of something in me that's saying, hang on though. Because this is like really good weird woo, dude.
Luna's like, he's leaving things for people to find him. and stuff like that. So it's almost like he's caught between.
He always seems to have keys to everything. Is it legit? I don't know. Crystal Shaman, people know about this thing.
Yes, yeah, this is a thing, man.
Oh man, am I gonna have to look?
I really need to have my mom send me the video that she showed me. All I got to say is, if he's editing these videos,
Okay.
he's.
I never want anyone to say that my music's crap again. This person has used the same music. Haha. We just had a drastic lockdown, right?
Yeah, okay, yes, and that was brought up, right? I mean, all of these questions that most people would be answering have been addressed, but I have to show you the video that my mom sent me, because it's this is just more of some of the stuff that you're seeing. I don't know, man. It's a weird one, and like I said, I'm not claiming it's one way or the other.
And skeptical Kev says, if he's like in 2027, right, and people haven't been around for, say, even a year or so, there's like graffiti here that would fade, right? And I'm seeing a windscreen on a van there that would surely have dust on it.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. Like, there's computers and stuff that are still on.
Yeah.
And
who's running the
so
power? Who's running the power company?
Yeah, it's like, well, if everybody's gone, then there'd be like nobody manning the nuclear power plants. Things would be on fire, right? Because there's nobody to manage anything. So there are those questions. However, like, so this guy supposedly in the year 2027 with nobody around, right? But he has access to 2021 internet. And he's able to communicate with people on TikTok or whatever. But what's weird is that people are on the fly telling him, go here, go there, walk into this place, go into the bathroom.
Well,
so
it's
weird. It's weird.
From the chat room again, Crystal Shaman, Scotty, there's an app that makes it where you can remove people from the video.
I saw that. Like, I was wondering, maybe are we dealing with some kind of a deep fake technology or an AI that
I'm
can
horrible. I'm sitting here, right? Dave is sitting, right? And he's sitting saying to me, what a dick you are. What an absolute dick. What great woo this is. And now look at you. Look at you, little dick. You're trying to find ways to crap on the woo.
But you know what, Kev?
Apologize. I apologize on behalf of me and Dave.
You know what, Kev? Tomorrow's freaky. And we're going to throw all that skepticism out the window.
We are, Scott. I promise to get rid of my skeptical side by tomorrow, right? I apologize, audience. I'm disgusted at myself.
I'm going to have my mom send me the video that she showed me, because I think it gives you it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing, and it makes for a good conversation, I think. It's just
Oh, dude, it's absolutely fantastic. I hadn't heard anything about this. This is fine. I'll be sending this to my mum, my kid brother as well. He'll love this. This will absolutely boogle his head.
Yeah. It's like he was walking into car dealerships and just like opening the doors to Mercedes and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man. Some of these places, it's like, how can there not be people there? That's when it starts getting.
I like Christopher Alexander. He says it's most likely
magicianry.
Oh, we like a magician around here. I like that. The way you said that, Christopher, is brilliant. Most likely
magicianry.
I like it.
And look, even though there are like lockdowns and stuff, there are still people that.
No, I totally did. Totally.
I mean, And Valencia is not a small city. It's not like
no.
You know, so I don't know, man. It's really weird. He was down in the subway, nobody was there. He was in the airport, nobody was there. Just really weird.
Now,
Really,
ZX is saying, you've sent me something here, ZX, but listen, it's really hard sometimes for me to get these like links to work. They just don't work. Like, see, that sent me, that took me totally out the chat room, just clicking that. ZX, send me a quick, in fact, I need to get going just now anyway. I really need to get going just now, but dude, I'm glad you showed me this. Because it would have been on my mind because it sounded like good woo. And it is good woo. Stop it, Kev. Dave's gonna have a serious word after this broadcast, ladies and gents. So let me tell you, serious word.
Just throw it away for now, and just go with it for now.
So tomorrow, right? Copy and paste it. Yeah, dude. But it's not even showing me the full thing. It's like got dots. It's like it won't even show me the full message type thing. I can't copy and paste it. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. On Discord, right? It's on Discord. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Where does that Vault Team 6? That's okay. It's not from Apex. That's all right. You know we like our Apex, Scotty. Let's see.
Indeed.
Let's see. Okay, so ZX says time traveler to 2027 breaks into a police station. Now this looks like it's Spain as well, right?
Yeah, these are the TikTok videos that this dude makes.
So they're all the same, dude. Got you.
Like, he constantly does this on these videos. Like, he'll just walk into police stations, walk into airports, walk into these expensive car dealerships and just like open the door to the cars that are just sitting in the it's like, what is going on?
That's bizarre, right?
I mean, would you have the balls to just walk up to a police station and then just like get in a police car like that? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I wouldn't unless I was police and I was known.
Yeah.
That doesn't explain how he gets into other buildings. I get that.
I don't know.
I don't know either, dude. I don't know. I'm liking it though. I'm liking it. So listen, folks. That qualifies as magicianry in the spooky voice.
Magicianry and malarkey.
Yes, there's a whole heap of malarkey going on as well. We like malarkey around here. Crystal says, yep, I'm not drinking his Kool-Aid. Joining late, just finished listening to your interview with L.A. Marzulli. Excellent. Thank you very much, Paula. The only thing wrong with that interview with L.A. yesterday was it was too quick. I was really conscious of LA's time because he'd said beforehand he only had 3/4 of an hour. And then when we finished, I'd only kept him for 33 minutes. 33. Oh, no, I'll start a conspiracy. But no, he's also said I can re-upload the documentary that he's made as well. And I think I might do that. My only concern is some of the music in it. Because it's uploaded on it's not uploaded on YouTube, it's uploaded on a different site, so it might not have the same content match. So I don't know, I need to be careful there. But you can check out that video for free. One last thing before we go down, Scott, I'll show people where to get that. lamarzulli.net. And you just scroll down here. UFO disclosure. It's absolutely free, ladies and gentlemen. There's no cost to this whatsoever. You click on watch now. There's no hidden costs, no nothing, no grifting, no shenanigans. And there's some really good stuff in there. Really good stuff. Yeah, Paula, that's what I was thinking as well. Nace says the consistency of the videos would have to occur one after another with the timestamp being relevant. I would believe it if it was over an hour of video with no one there. I don't know, if you can do 10 minutes of video with nobody there, you could easily do over an hour. That wouldn't satisfy me, Nace. Wouldn't satisfy me. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to be a lot stricter on this one. But anyhow.
After we get off, I'll send you something, or I'll show you something. And...
No probs, dude. No probs. So listen, folks out there, this has been it's been different, but I tell you what, I've really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope Scotty's enjoyed it as well. It's been a weird week, but it's been a great week, and it's going to be rounded off in style tomorrow night on Freaky Friday. I can promise you that. We'll be getting into more of this. I'll also dig up the video of another alleged time travel piece of footage. It's older. When you've been around, when you're an OG like me and Scotty, see, I can remember some of the early kind of CGI type things that came out, and there was one video in particular that alleged to show the start of World War III over in the Middle East. Do you remember that one? Remember that one, Scott? They're in the car and they're trying to get away.
Yeah, wow. That,
see,
man, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that
you
was
got to be an OG to remember that one, big man. You see,
some OG stuff right there, dude.
I tell you what, that dates me in the rabbit hole game, doesn't it? Oh, I've been down here too long, Scott. Too long.
We've been in the rabbit hole too long.
Too long. Somebody take me out of here. But listen, we
keep your
mind
here open. Keep looking for the wound, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.
Keep it real, folks. We'll be back tomorrow with Freaky Friday. And look at that. That's almost... It's almost like a Hangar 1.8 in the making. I don't know. There's something about this place, Scott. Look at it. It's looking ominous.
It's been retrofitted.
It has been. All it's missing is our some furniture in there. Bakshi on the wall. Get ready for a new type of content coming your way.